Yes, I was saying that in our family, we have never had a case of a person with a liver problem, and therefore it was a very difficult for us to try to imagine how this problem or condition uh, is all about. But at the same time, when I was trying to think or to figure out that, I remembered that there was a cousin of my mother who had a problem with a river, with her river. And I consulted the family, or I learned the brother, the cousin of my mom, and I started asking and wanting to know how it is all about, just to be sure of what we are going through. And I was told what happened and how she was managed and what was happening. So many stories about all that. I just wanted to be aware and to be sure of what is happening. Though it was not as easy as I'm mentioning, I went through a very difficult time, looking forward to see my son healing out of this condition that just came from nowhere, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And in the month of June, towards the end of May, the doctors, because they were working as a team, suggested that we needed to have a biopsy. And they started preparing my son for a biopsy that would be done so that they would see what was happening to his liver. And my son had a very uh, difficult moment because he was not able to feed well. And even if he was feeding, whatever he was feeding on, he was feeding with very little, and he was very particular on what he wanted to feed on. And sometimes it looked as if he was just making fun, but it was very serious. And when he was being prepared for biopsy, it was so unfortunate that anytime he was just about to be prepared for the biopsy, he started nose bleeding. Nose bleeding, he had issues of nose bleeding even before, but it was not that much. It was something that would not take even time, and after 2 hours it is over, and he was able to manage everything and move on with his life. But this time the nose bleeding was so much, and now that one alone prevented the process of biopsy, and it really delayed the process. And I was really feeling agitated. I was really feeling so difficult, and I was wondering what was that. To me, it was hell. I was going through hell. I used to cry at night alone. I used to cry to God, pray. I didn't even know whether I was praying or crying, and I was in pain. I could not understand the whole thing, and this thing really stayed. It really took time for the biopsy, and when that time came, when he was not nose bleeding, we went to a facility that we were referred. And when just about when he was prepared, and when the doctor was just about to start the biopsy process, he realized from his file that he had nose bleeded for the previous 2 days. And he called me and he asked me about it, and explained it to him, and he said he was not informed and he was not ready to carry a biopsy. And it was like, what is this now? It really got me unawares, and I can remember crying extremely hard. And it was like, what is all this about? What is this? I cannot even understand. Even when the doctors were explaining to me how dangerous it was for them to do a biopsy, for me it was like, why can't they do it so that we may know the way forward? I was not seeing the danger. I was not even aware of anything. I was just feeling devastated and miserable and discouraged, name it. the cry of a mother, the pain of a mother. And I went through that hell. And I remember leaving that facility late at night crying. But I want to thank God that that I had somebody to hold me. And we moved on and we went back to the hospital. And when we were still in the hospital, um, the biopsy was not done. And we stayed in the hospital for another whole week, waiting for some levels that the doctors were waiting for so that the biopsy would be done. And then after that,